What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Fig here, and welcome to the Rabbit Hole. So, today we're going to talk about what could be some sensitive shit. You could disagree with me, you could agree with me. Either way, I honestly really don't give a shit. I don't. But, that said, these are things that has come up recently because of certain events and all the shit that's going on. I mean, it's just everything is going so fucking bonkers. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like button down there until it's blue. Help out the YouTube algorithm, help my videos get out there more as far as views go and things like that. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit that bell notification so that way you'll get, notified whenever I post new videos, okay? And, of course, check out the store, figsrabbithole.com. You get your cool merch like what I'm wearing right now. Check this shirt out. Boom. Rabbit hole, baby. And again, any proceeds for that will be going to help out homeless children and homeless veterans. Okay, so you guys will help us be able to do some good in the world. Now, let's speak about some trying to do good in the world. There's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. I mean, I'm out here in San Jose, and I've seen so many different things with the riots and closing down Highway 101. And if anyone's familiar with Highway 101, that is normally a parking lot already. It does not need fucking help to shut down. It shuts itself down, right? But anyways, I don't know where to start with all this because there's just so much crap going on right now. Let me start with this one thing that I saw. I pulled it up on my phone. I pulled up a couple things on my phone, so I'll turn it over and try to show you guys. Check this out. I don't know if you've seen it before or not. Can't really see the words. But look at these people doing this shit, right? And if you can't tell what it says, white guilt is the new virus in America. Like, what the fuck? WTF, right? And I don't know if I'd go as far as calling it a virus or nothing like that, but that's pitiful. I mean, it is pitiful. To me, that people putting themselves in chains and then what the fuck is that called? Yokes, I guess. One of the motherfuckers is even smiling in this picture. Look at this fucking dude. He's even fucking smiling. Like, not a huge smile, but it's still a smile. Like first off, like, to me, to think that you are a certain way or responsible for something that happened in the past 100 plus years ago, 200 years ago, 400 fucking years ago, right? To think that you're somehow responsible for it, even if you're a direct descendant of whatever people did, whatever atrocity it was, is fucking ridiculous. And to apologize for it, to me, is fucking ridiculous. Like, it makes no fucking sense. It just doesn't. Like, this, it's, I look at this and I'm like, these people are idiots. Whatever this white guilt bullshit is, like, I'm sorry. No. No. I'm not going to feel guilty for something I had nothing to do with. You know? Um, like, I will never apologize for what I have no control over. Um, I reject any kind of notion, any kind of idea that says that if you are born a certain way or within a certain group or you look like a certain thing or you grew up in a certain area, right? That you must be a certain way. Like, no, motherfucker. Whatever happened to personal responsibility? Whatever happened to everybody has their own fucking choice in life? You could take 2, 3 people from the same background, from the same area, right? From the same fucking household, and their lives will come out 3 different ways, 2 to 3 different ways, quite possibly. Because they can make their own fucking choices, you know? So the way I grew up, and so genetically, right? I am very, what I would consider very mixed. Okay. Now I am mostly what most people would consider white. Okay. I'm like a little bit of Middle Eastern, a little bit West African, and a little bit Native American. But the rest is Portuguese, Italian, and like Scandinavian, right? That's the majority of it. In fact, the majority of 50% is Portuguese. Now, I've never personally looked at myself like, oh, I'm a white person. You know, I've just never really thought about myself like that. I grew up with all kinds of different fucking people. Honestly, mostly, I don't know. I can't say any one group had more of an impact on me necessarily. You know, I had a lot of Latino friends. Um, I had a lot of black friends, you know, and I had white friends too. And I had a lot of Asian friends. Like, for me, I never gave a shit about that stuff. Now, did I see some things that, you know, growing up gave me certain um, caution around people? Sure. But do I allow those kinds of things to dictate, like pre dictate how I'm going to act with certain people? No. Fuck no, dude. Like, you prove me the kind of person you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you've been, where you grew up, how you've lived. I don't care what education your parents have or none of that shit. I don't care about their occupation. I don't care about your occupation. Show me the kind of person you are. You know? But anyways, um like, so this idea that, oh, we have to apologize for our whiteness, man, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I had nothing to do with that shit. I don't agree with any of that shit. You know? I had nothing to do with that. I ain't apologizing for shit. Anyways, that said, so I saw this stuff, this one video by Candace Owens, and I posted about this, so I'm just gonna read what I wrote on my post. Because, it'll make it that much easier than we could talk about it. So I saw a video. Well, I'll just read it. So I seen the video of Candace Owens talking about George Floyd. You're right. He's not a martyr. He didn't die for his religious beliefs or any other beliefs he held. He may not have been a hero in your mind, and possibly not in the broader meaning of the word, doesn't mean he wasn't a hero to someone. He had drugs in his system at the time. Didn't die from that. Didn't deserve to die for it. He tested positive for COVID. Didn't die from that. He didn't die because of the color of his skin. His criminal record had nothing to do with it. Let me say that one more time. His criminal record had nothing to fucking do with it. He died because a cop held his knee on his neck. All 4 cops involved have been arrested. Hopefully justice will serve. Now let's talk about the cops for a second. People are breaking this into like, oh, white versus black bullshit. Okay? I'm not saying that there isn't a white versus black issue in this country. Okay? There are issues like that. This particular incident is not about that. The one thing that tells you it's not about that are the ethnic groups of the police officers involved. Okay? Now, in the videos shown, we see 2 cops. One is white, clearly. He's the one kneeling on George's neck. The other one is Asian. I believe he's actually Hmong, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, that alone tells you this wasn't a white versus black thing. Now, was it a racial thing? I highly doubt it, because guess what? There were 2 other cops holding George's body. The videos don't show it. However, there are pictures from the other side that show 4 cops involved. 3 on the body, 1 standing there. The Asian dude. He was standing to try to keep the crowd away. Okay? Now, what are the ethnicities of the other cops? I don't fully know. Because I've seen one where it says one was Hispanic, one was black. One was definitely black or mixed. He was definitely a mixed dude, because lighter skin black. The other one is either white or Hispanic. I really don't know. I've seen it reported both ways. So, that said, I really don't think this incident was a racial issue. Hence, my further comments here. It says, this is not a white versus black thing. It's not all versus racism either. Okay? Though, we should all be against racism. I mean, let's just face it. Like, I think most of us agree racism is not a good thing. Okay? This is about an emboldened and militarized police force, about a government that continually oversteps our rights and systematically kneels on the neck of the people with little to no consequences. Violence only goes so far. Speaking about the riot. It's time people stopped voting party line. It's time the system changed. So I think a lot of people are feeling this. Now, I like this picture too. Really quick, let me just interject this. This says biracial babies shouldn't have to pick a side, one race, human race. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that or not. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Anyways, that's what the sign says. So now, I mean, I could just be polyracial for crying out loud. I mean, most of us are pretty fucking mixed. Like myself, I'm pretty mixed. I mean, hell, if I'm in the sun a lot, I get pretty tan. And so a lot of people start trying to speak Spanish to me because they think I'm like Mexican or Hispanic of some sort. By the way, I hate using the term Hispanic because it's really a misnomer. Hispanic just kind of denotes people of Spanish speaking descent. So anywhere that is basically of Spanish speaking, which means Spain would technically be Hispanic. But I dare you go to Spain and tell me if they're not anything other than white people. Just saying. They're pretty freaking pale. I mean, they're more pale than the Portuguese are. You know? So, but, there's theory that that's probably because the Moors had a stronger influence in Portugal than in Spain. I don't know. Who freaking knows? Maybe that's where my West African side came from. So, in any case, yeah, it's you get these people. Now, I have no problem with the peaceful protests. I have no problem with the saying Black Lives Matter. I have no problem with the movement of Black Lives Matter. The organization, I'm not too keen on the organization. I think there's a lot of fishiness going on. I think it's more of a political move than anything, but than anything like really substantive. But that's just my personal perspective. I'm not involved with them at all, but I absolutely agree with the idea of Black Lives Matter and things like that. I don't think it has to do with this case in particular. Like I said, this case, and I think what we've seen overall is it's really an overstepping government into our freedoms and shit. Okay? I mean, look at COVID. How easily, how quickly they were to be able to convince the people out of fear to just give up their rights. I think it's funny that we claim, oh, we're, land of the free and blah, blah, blah. We are not free. Motherfuckers, we are not free. We have a citizenship-based tax, which means if you go overseas and you start a company overseas, or you get rental properties, whatever you do overseas, you make money from overseas, the U.S. is going to tax you on it. Not only the country that you're making the money from, but the U.S., good old Uncle Sam, wants his dough too. What part of that says free? Not only that, but holy fuck, like, that is what we fought. Well, my ancestors weren't even here yet at that point. But that is what they fought over the Revolutionary War, for fuck's sake. Because all the settlers were here. And England is like, oh, we're going to tax you guys. Like, ridiculously. And ridiculously to them back then, right? So, from my understanding, the tax rate was like 1%. They upped the tax like to 3%. So 2%. they upped the tax. What do we get taxed now? Like 20, 30%? The more you make, the more you get taxed. Not just in money wise, but in percentage wise. You go overseas, you go somewhere that your country is not, and you get taxed on that too? Come on, man. And we're free, huh? We're free that they could just tell us who's essential and who's not essential. We're free that they can throw people in prison or in jail for opening up a fucking barber shop so they could feed their kids. And yet they're gonna let rapists out of jail because of COVID. This is some bullshit. So then, right? I mean, we get all this shit, and then all of a sudden the straw, George Floyd. And we wonder, oh, why are people wrecking everything? Why are people rioting? Because people are broke, people are hungry, and people are fucking pissed off. People are really pissed off over racial issues, over, fucking freedom issues, right? Their constitutional rights being stomped on by the government over and over again, by the government constantly trying to think of, oh, well, what's another way we can get around the fucking Constitution? Nah. This shit ain't right. This shit ain't right. And, it's about time people stop voting party line and start voting for the shit that, for freedom. Period. Stop voting party line. It's stupid. It is stupid to vote for someone just because they're in a party that you espouse to. Like, when was the last time people really looked at each individual issue and looked at the standing of the party that they back or that they claim to be a part of? It's funny. I have met many people from both sides, right? Some liberal, some conservative. And I've talked to both of them. Now, anyone who knows me, well, I would hope anyone who knows me understands, I'm very much a libertarian, right? Freaking borderline ANCAP even. Now, I don't know how many times I've talked to people on both sides, liberal and conservative. And at the end, they're like, oh, well, maybe I am more like a libertarian. I think it's funny. I think a lot of people, there's so much division and things. I believe the majority of the people are pretty close to center, right? But anyways, so these are just my views on stuff. I don't give a fuck about people's race. I don't give a fuck about people's lifestyle. I don't think the government should have as much power as they do over us. The power is supposed to be with the people. Federal government is supposed to be extremely limited. Extremely limited. State government is supposed to be less limited because the people were supposed to play a more direct role. But again, back in the days, back when this shit was written, there were less people too, right? There were a lot less people per area, and frankly, I think they were a lot more intelligent than what most of us are, right? I think a lot of them were much more educated than we are, even though we have this wonderful education system and everything is like, oh, pieced out and these grades and blah blah blah, and all tax funded, you know, theft funded really, and it's crazy though, like the literacy rate that we have today is pales in comparison. You know, when I was going through my bachelor program, for those of you who don't know, I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, and I can't tell you like how many people's papers I've read where English was their first language, was or is their only language. English is their only language. They grew up here whole time in our education system. And some of their papers were worse than papers from people who English is their second language or even third language, and they grew up in another country, or mostly grew up in another country, and then came here. It blew my mind when I saw this shit. When I was reviewing their papers, because I don't know why people always want me to read their papers, and I would always warn them. I'm like, look, I use a red pen, and I will bleed all over your paper. Like, if you're okay with that, if you're okay with me being, you know, just bold and honest about your shit, I'll do it. But fair warning, I'm not going to be nice about shit. I mean, I'm not going to be overly mean about stuff like, you know, like Simon Cowell or fuck's that chef? You guys know, Hell's Kitchen dude. Anyway, Gordon Ramsay, right? Fucking, I'm not going to be overly mean or nothing, don't get me wrong. But I will bleed all over it. Absolutely. And you know, they'd always bring me their papers, and I'd review them, and I'd bleed all over the fuckers. Not to be mean, you know, I'm not saying I'm a great writer. I'm not the most perfect writer or nothing like that. But I'm not bad. So, I don't know where the fuck I was going with this. Oh yeah, literacy rate. But like, man, I swear people can't even write a full thought down. Like, it blew me out of the water. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, where do these people go to school? You know? It's crazy. Like, you know, America, we used to be, you know, one of the top in education. We used to be one of the top in all kinds of stuff. But we have fallen so far behind a lot of the world. And it is crazy. It is crazy to me. And a lot of it, I think, is because of the overpower of the government. You know? I mean, they tell us what we can or cannot do. You know, for a long time, right? You cannot marry the same sex. Like, for a long time. You cannot drink alcohol. You cannot smoke tobacco. Right now, you cannot smoke marijuana. Like fucking, I mean, federally. Certain states, yeah, they allowed it finally. But federally, it's still an illegal drug. Like, why? Like, it's just, it's fucking stupid. Why is it still illegal, you know, to marry more than one person? Look, if you have three people who love each other, why can't they fucking marry each other? You know? What the fuck does it matter? Oh, tax reasons, blah, 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 blah. Fuck taxes, man. Fuck taxes. It's a bullshit reason, you know? Like, I mean, I don't agree with taxes anyways, but, like, let's just say, okay, fine, tax reasons. Figure it out then. You know? Figure out how can it fucking work. You know? You got well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a couple. You got a relationship of three people, you know? Or a marriage of three people. And frankly, marriage isn't even necessary anymore. I mean, come on, guys. That's more of a religious thing, anyways. Um, the government should have nothing to do with marriage. Marriage is a religious thing, it should not be a legal thing. But in any case, as it stands right now, it is a legal thing and slash religious. So, but like, I mean, maybe if you got that and said, okay, then maybe they all file separate then. Or two of them file together, the other one files separate. You know? And if they want, they could oscillate every other fucking year. I don't give a fuck. They could figure it out. Shit could be figured out though. Like it's not a big deal. Um so wow, this went off way in left field. You know, I guess hey, fucking rabbit hole, guys. So, going back, to me, this is not a race issue. It's absolutely not. Are there race issues? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. Can't deny that. You can't deny the facts. But this case in particular with George Floyd, and also the larger view of things, is not a race issue. You know, the biggest disparity still, as far as between races go, is within sentencing. Hell, even between sexes goes. You know, men and women do the same crime. Men, more times than not, in fact, I'd even venture to say in all cases, will get a harsher punishment than women. You know, um, whites versus black, as far as sentencing goes, same thing. You know, typically, black people, unfortunately, will get a harsher sentence, and that's not right. It is not right. And these are the kinds of things we need to be fighting against. You know, are there racist police out there? Fuck yeah, there are. And we need to get those fuckers out of the force. You know, they should not be. They shouldn't be there. If you can't deal with everybody equally, then yeah, you should not be in any kind of position of an authority like that. Especially when it's the kind of authority that you take people's rights away. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So, you know, these are my general views on this stuff. Um, you know, you may agree with me, may disagree with me. It's fine. I mean, we could have a discussion. You know, make sure any thoughts or ideas that you have, put them down in the comments, please. I'd love to read what you have to say and respond, and like, let's have a discussion. But that's it. You know, that's all I got. And just a friendly reminder, taxation is theft. All right. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you like the video if you have not already. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you get notified for new videos. Make sure you check out the website, figsrabbithole.com. Link will be in the description. Get your nuggies, your cool merch like this, and Baby Yoda shit and whatnot. Help us fund some awesome projects for homeless children and homeless veterans. And make sure you comment, share, like, all that good shit. And catch you on the flip side.